see this? Made in England. And this? Made in England. And this? Made in England. And, if you please, this? Made in England. And all Sir Dicky Putnam et al. Can do is whinge on about the death of the British film industry.
She was mad. She was mad, she was paranoid, she was megalomaniac, she was deluded. But somehow, you know, when she was in charge, Blue Peter was Blue Peter.
When the news of John Major's election came through, I was in the kitchen glazing my buns, and Michael, my husband, came through, and we broke open a bottle of champagne and tried to cut our throats with it.
That Home Secretary is... he's a twit, isn't he? The stuff I deal with is mostly small stuff, you know, car stereos, that kind of thing. Well, I'll get you something bigger if you want it.
If history has taught us one thing, it has taught us that the Battle of Agincourt was in 1415.
Well, you know, these, they just come over here and sponge, don't they? You know, these queers, these sponging queers come over here and sign on the dole. Or is that black people? I get so confused sometimes. I was hit on the head as a child, you see.
Well, I'm afraid weight has been a perennial problem with me. I've tried all the diets. I tried the hip and thigh diet, and it didn't work for me at all, because I've always hated the taste of thighs, even when well done.
Yeah, phone sex is good. I like that phone sex. At least you never have to ring them the next day.
Favourite film? Well, what's that one with that poor man who looks like an elephant? What's his name? Oh, you know, Colin Welland.
Yeah, those dickheads in the council, they got this noise pollution squad. I rang him up to complain about my neighbour who plays music, well, he calls it music, all night, 3 o'clock in the morning. They fined me 50 quid for shouting down the phone.
What I think's funny is the way they say watershed, you know. They say things like, you can't say tit till after the 9 o'clock watershed. Well, who keeps water in a shed, and what's that got to do with tits?
Men are just so fragile, aren't they, you know? You've only got to say something like, you've got an absolutely tiny one and you're hopeless in bed, and they get all sort of hurt.
I would say women are like eggs. Best not keep them in the fridge.
Yes, I like to do about 30 lengths every day before I go to work. You know, it really makes me feel, you know, shagged.
Yeah, I'll always remember this. My father's advice to me was neither a borrower nor a git-bee.
Well, if people want to be right-wing and nationalistic and bigoted, then let them go and live in Russia. That's what I say.
OK, so, you know, you say get rid of the Queen. I mean, you say get rid of the royal family. But, I mean, what are they going to put on the stamps? Hmm? Desmond Rynham? Mike Smith? You know, I mean, I might have to turn Mike Smith over and give him a licking every time I want to send a letter. They don't think these things through, do they?
See these? You plant one of these in about, late July. Bit of water, bit of compost, bit of love. And, about 6 months later, you've got a 9-lane motorway running through your back garden.
Yes, I always remember this spot because it was right here. This was the very first time that I saw my wife. I was standing absolutely here, and I remember thinking, what an incredibly tiny woman she was. Absolutely tiny. She was about that size. Tiny little thing. It was only weeks later, as I got to know her, that I realised that was, of course, because she was a long way away.
The things they say, eh? The things they say. My youngest, she said to me the other day, she said, Daddy, why are there wars? Why do people kill each other and fight? I said, Rebecca, darling, shut your face and watch the video or I'll belt you one.
Basically, I go around schools, you know, I sit in with the kids, because I'm trying to learn French.
Wine Society. I enjoy fine wines very much. Also, their malt whiskies. I like a nice malt whiskey. Great pleasure to me. It's one of the great benefits of being an alcoholic, really, I suppose.
Well, I'm aroused every morning by a very insistent cock.
In the morning? Yes, I used to use one of those automatic things that makes your cup of tea and does this horrible screeching noise in your ear. But then I divorced her and bought a tea.
What, an alarm in the morning? Well, I have an old tape of Carlo Maria Giulini conducting the Vienna Philharmonic Orchestra in a perfectly transcendent version of Schubert's Seventh Symphony. And I rigged it up so that at exactly 7:30 every morning, it falls from the ceiling onto my face.
No, I haven't got an alarm clock. I've got 3 children instead. It was a difficult choice, but I thought the children would go better with the wallpaper.
There I are. I only know one, I'm afraid. How many cabinet ministers does it take to change a light bulb? 3. Seems rather a lot to me, but there you are.
Where is this country headed? That's the 64p question.
Because in our village, there's a marvellous old game we play every Lammas Eve. Tradition has it that everyone living in the village of pensionable age has to dress up as a bale of straw, and then the rest of us, we split up into packs of 6 in 4-wheel drive vehicles, and we have to hunt them down and beat them to death with fence posts. I'm not absolutely sure of its origins. It's something to do with the Conservative Party, I believe.